The next day, the railways of Sodor ran as normal, but the subject of the Clinchfield curse still buzzed in everyone's minds. The engines worked on well with the help of their American visitors, who proved to be very successful. Ariel was taking a private train from Kronk to Crovan's Gate, where Duncan was to arrive with a series of influential businessmen. She had kept the thoughts of the story of Clinchfield curse to herself, but she hadn't told anyone if she'd had an encounter with the ghost engine. Unknown to the others, she had, but she'd been too reluctant to ever mention it, for she feared that she would become one of the next victims of the curse. Ariel arrived at Crovan's Gate right on time, just as Duncan steamed in, 6 minutes earlier than he was to be originally. Ariel noticed the look on his face.
Judging by your expression, you saw her, didn't you?
Saw what?
The Demon 311. The ghost of the Clinchfield curse, who once ran on the Canton Southwestern Railroad.
How do you know of that?
I know the story, but I'd rather not talk about it since it might spook you.
No, please do tell. I might not believe in ghosts, but something in my boiler tells me that this was real.
Very well. But don't say I didn't warn you.
Ariel told Duncan about the famous tale of 311 from start to finish. The narrow gauge engine was a little spooked, but at the same time he was amazed.
So that's what me and the others saw. No wonder I thought it was real, but yet, one part of me thought it was all made up.
Well, now you know. The same can be said to the other locos back in America. It's almost hard to believe it. I may not have been one of 311's closest friends, but I do remember that she and I had a mutually respectful but uneasy relationship, with an emphasis on our differing views on being loyal and dedicated locomotives, especially when it came to hauling passengers and freight.
Anyways, thanks for telling me, but I've got to go take some slate trucks from the mine. Later.
As Duncan got uncoupled, David arrived with a long train of coal trucks up from the coaling plant. They had tried to tease him, but they soon found out the hard way about what happens when you try to mess with a Class A from the Norfolk and Western.
Howdy there, Ariel.
Hey, David. Those trucks causing you any trouble?
Not really. They were easy to handle. Sure, they tried to play tricks on me, but they made a serious mistake, and right now their wheels are aching, and it damn serves them right. Next time they'll never dare try and mess with an engine like me.
Seeing you with that train reminds me of when the Class A's used to pull heavy coal trains on the flatter districts of the Norfolk and Western system, from what Nickel Plate 587 told me.
Yeah, despite I'm a rare survivor of my class, but hauling these trucks on Sodor is almost nothing when compared to hauling big coal hoppers. Since that's how the 1200s were like in the era of steam, when hauling hoppers as a daily routine, even though they pulled heavy passenger trains at times.
After dropping off the businessmen, Ariel hauled a mixed train of dry clay and wet clay from Tidmouth to Wellsworth, where Bill and Ben were waiting to take it to the China Clay Works. As As the twins left the train, Ariel decided to have a little rest in the sidings at the yards. Edward was there doing some shunting when he noticed the old 440 was thinking of something from her past which was making her feel unhappy. This concerned the old engine, so he came over and talked to her.
Something the matter, madam?
It's got nothing to do with you, Mr. Edward. But if you want to know, it's to do with 311. Ever since she was mentioned here, some of you have had encounters with her, but have never become added victims to her curse. Hearing all this is giving me bad memories of when I had my own encounter with her a long time ago.
If I may ask, Miss Ariel, the other engine said that the ghost engine is looking for others who share its number, or marking it. But do you think there is more than what they think?
Many versions of 311's death have been told. All I know from my experience with her was that her accident was sudden and came without warning. It was only until my encounter with her ghost that I started to see something different. Something that forever made me afraid of her, even to this day. I remember it well. The year was 1979, 10 months after I was bought for railway preservation. It was a clear but cold evening after Matthew and I were hauling an excursion train during the celebration of the Highland Valley Logging and Mining Company Railroad. When the passengers were getting off, I overheard one of them talking about the story of 311's ghost. At first, I thought they were joking, but it turned out not to be, for Matthew explained the accident to me. 311 and I were friends, not like close, if you know what I mean, but I was affected by her loss. After that, my mind began to think back to when me and her used to work together when we had to. As Matthew and I slept for the night, it was misty and damp. Then, it suddenly felt colder than normal. Moments later, we were woken up as we heard the cry of an engine's whistle echoing around within the dark. Before we knew it, a big bright red of light shone, nearly blinding us. There, we saw 311's true appearance. Through the bright headlamp, her form was disgusting, filled with hatred and twisted by anger, despair, and regret.
Do you want to die, Ariel?
No! Please don't kill me! Please! I'm not worthy!
You were never there for me. Not gonna care about someone you said to be friends with.
I had never felt so frightened in my life. 311 was raging and shouting like an out-of-control psychopath. She came within a few inches of me, ready to take my life, when suddenly she was gone, vanished into the unknown.
Oh my God. That's so disturbing, but yet very sad to think that someone who was friends with you would go insane and blame you for something you didn't do. That was 38 years ago. Surely by now you've recovered from it.
No, I still haven't, Mr. Edward. I still get nightmares about it. You don't understand why. But the only reason I'm still alive is because of what I learned from the story. 311 didn't kill me because she saw that my number was not the same as hers. But due to her inner rage, she almost did. I can only hope that one day she can let go and move on. Why should she continue spreading her curse around and let others suffer like you engines on this railway?
It's a hard thing to deal with, I understand. I lost so many family members, and so few of them ended up being preserved. I was heartbroken, but I was able to move on and remember them, but also focus on the good days we had. I guess 311 has some good left in her, and that her troubled past with shame is preventing her in letting go.
No one knows. But if one would have to guess, then that may be the case. But the true answer would have to come from 311 herself. Her journey to redemption just doesn't seem to be coming.
It takes time, and it will be over, I promise. It might take some time to happen, but, maybe, for all intensive purposes, it can happen tonight.